Our
You?
microphone's muted. That didn't work. I'm your host, John. There's Robin. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. Sitting around here,
Yeah.
getting ready for this. Chris says hi to us.
Hi,
Hello, Chris.
Chris.
Um, so yeah, you got a good show lined up here for tonight. Um, Weather-wise, it was beautiful today. Hi, Kim. Kim is
Hey,
also host.
Kim.
Weather was great today.
Yeah.
41 and kind of nice and calm.
Yeah, it
And
wasn't bad at
I
all.
think it's gonna be 50 tomorrow or close to 50. Then what I think Friday rain and Sunday maybe some rain, but much better than it was and no more wind.
Yeah.
I hate the wind. It was pretty damn windy.
Yeah.
Um,
Hope everybody made out okay with the snow.
yeah, our snow wasn't bad,
Yeah, it
but I
wasn't too
know
bad
anyone
here.
listening to us south of us really got hit. I was in Grand Island today. It wasn't as I was expecting it to be look a little worse. It wasn't as
No.
bad. Yeah, like I mean, I think they got a little more, but not any more than not a huge amount. So,
Right.
um, Robin, what do we have in store for today? Are you ready?
I am.
Okay, what are we talking about today?
First thing I want to talk about, we touched on it last week, was President Trump's announcement.
It was made after our show.
It was the night of our show last week.
Right. And what was that announcement?
That he will be running for president in 2024.
Right. He will be going back for a second, hopefully, term for himself if he wins.
Yes, if he wins, he'll be only the second president elected to two non-consecutive terms.
Really?
Mm.
I never knew. Hey, did you write down who?
Grover Cleveland in 1892.
That's it, huh?
Yeah.
Buffalo guy, I
Hmm.
think, right? Or they
Yeah.
named something after him, maybe not.
Yeah, I think he was a Buffalo guy.
Was he?
Mm.
Was it McKinley too, or
I think
something?
McKinley was killed here,
Oh, he was killed here.
but I
Interesting.
don't think he was from here.
Right. Um, so he makes that announcement. There was some people come out and did some endorsing,
Yes,
right? Wasn't it like the lady who lost
Carrie
in
Lake from
Arizona,
Arizona. Yeah,
I think. And then I don't know if anyone, maybe someone else.
she was a big endorsement, I think, because there was some talk that, and we'll get into this a little more, but there was some talk that Ron DeSantis might use her as a VP candidate if he were to run. So it was really big that she came
You
out
know
right
what's
away and
fun?
endorsed
You know what's funny about
President
all
Trump.
that is it's all just guessing.
Oh,
No
sure.
one has a clue what
No,
these people are thinking
no,
because they're never going to tell you. You know what I mean? That's never going to
no.
be. That's
Th-
just best speculation at its best.
sure.
Not even anything truth to the rumor. I mean, where would that come from? You get my point? Like it's just
Yeah,
made up
right,
because they're not going to give you that idea yet of who, because that's such a, you know how that goes.
right.
As it gets closer to the whatever, as the primaries wind down, it seems like
Yes.
then you start to hear, and there's all kinds of intrigue on that.
Um, I thought President Trump's speech was pretty subdued, pretty relaxed. It wasn't there wasn't a lot of red meat to his base. It was kind of subdued, I thought. What about you?
Yeah, there's really not much he could do there. What's he going to do? There's not. He's got to find who it is he's going to have to go how and what his opponents will be
Right.
and how he's going to go towards that. Go at the opponent. You know what I mean? Like, because I guess that's important in some
Yeah.
ways. But what everyone liked about him was that you don't want him playing politics. If he starts playing politics like that, you know,
Right.
that's not the guy that won the first time.
Right. I
The
agree
guy
with
that
that.
lost the second time, unfortunately, wasn't the same as the guy who won.
Right.
Now, part of that was COVID because they changed the way everything was being played, right? I mean, you
Right.
couldn't. The debates were horrible. They were just terrible. They weren't. It wasn't your normal stuff.
Right.
The whole situation because of COVID just wasn't normal. So this time around, obviously with COVID gone, it should go back to normal. You would think.
Yeah.
I don't know. You tell me.
No,
I'm
I was
asking
just
you.
looking at Kim's
Yeah,
comment.
I
I'm
see it.
sorry.
I put it up on the screen. Yeah, very relaxed and professional. Yeah, he was very mellow. Yep.
Yeah. That's what I thought. But I kind of expected that. Um I I think like you were just saying, I think he needs to find who he needs to appeal to win. I
Right.
mean, his base is his base. The Trump base is not going anywhere. I think
No.
I think he's got two challenges. First of all, how does he win the Republican primary?
Right.
Um, and I suspect Mike Pence is going to run, but I don't think
Do you
he's
think
going to
he's
be a
going
real
to really?
factor. Yeah, I think he's going to.
Yeah, that won't work out well because
No,
that'll turn into kind of like a Jeb Bush deal, I'm sure.
right, and
I mean, it's too late.
he lost favor with the Trump base
Well,
that I
yeah,
don't think he'll ever win back. When he certified the election,
he'd be the anti. He'd have to be the whole anti
right, he'd have to be the
movement,
Republican Party that hates Trump.
So yeah, the George Bush part of it,
Hmm.
I guess. But the part that I'm telling you still holds doesn't it? There's still money there,
Oh
and as long
yeah,
as there's money there, they don't go away. Do you see what I mean? As long as there's money, no one's pushing
sure.
them away.
No,
So I think that'll be a problem.
the
But he's
other
not going to. I mean, he's
the other one
foolish for him to run. By the way,
that's gonna
it'd be
run
embarrassing, probably.
in the Republican primary that I suspect is going to be the main problem for him would be Ron DeSantis, the governor of
Yeah,
Florida. Um,
I would be surprised if he is a problem for him. I just don't know how. Like that's the weird thing because everyone that voted for him before and everybody that wants him to come back now, um, like everyone said those 4 years were very good.
right,
So why wouldn't you just want the same guy to redo the 4 years again?
right.
It just doesn't make sense to me that
And you know
why.
what? I already hear the angling. I hear the way that Fox News is talking and
Right,
presenting it. I hear the way that people are now talking about it. And a
right,
lot of these Republican people who might have been Trump supporters are now leaning towards Ron DeSantis because he's a more polished version of Trump,
well,
and they think he can get 4 year or 2 terms as opposed to Trump, who's only going to get one. And they say if he runs after Trump, then usually you don't
see though,
win.
I feel
And
that's wrong because that's usually after 8 years, not after four.
right, well, we have yeah,
That wouldn't be eight. It would be there was a pause in the act. I mean, it's not. That's just kind of not. I don't think that works here for
right.
this
I
because you got a break in the action, isn't? I understand after 8 straight years, usually, not all the time, but usually
The
nine times out of
country's ready
ten,
for something
they
different.
just do whatever.
Yeah,
But like I, it'll be a huge mistake if they do anything other than um I don't know how they could not support the former president. I
I
don't I
don't
don't
either.
see it.
And to be
But
honest,
whatever they want to do, they do.
yeah, no, it's like I just don't see. I see so many people who are not now, who are still talking, okay about President Trump, but are now like, oh, but I would vote for DeSantis.
Well, that's
And
if
but not only if,
if they don't vote for Trump in the primary. Now I get it. These Republican people, they're just as bad as the Democrats. If they
but I hear
whatever their
them saying
Republican is,
that
they'll
Trump
vote for.
can't win in the primary and that
Well,
DeSantis can,
well,
and all this
then
bullshit.
they'll lose. Then
And
they will lose the general election to whoever the Democrat is.
and you know what? I just
They'll
don't.
lose.
To me, I don't see how DeSantis can run against Trump when his whole campaign in Florida has been, I'm a Trump guy.
Right.
So now you're going to out Trump Trump? Is that, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, and how can people, if you supported Trump and you liked President Trump and that was what you were for, how do you just, because you're a party person, is what it is, you just jump ship to DeSantis because
But
he's looking more favorable?
they will vote for anything that has the initial on it. So that part of it, just forget. You know that. But as far as in that primary, I don't. I look, I can't imagine that former President Trump is going to go away without fighting.
Right.
So that would mean if they are going to try to take him on in a way that would be how do you put it? I'm not saying not argumentative, but you know what I mean. In that way, he's not going to stop. He's not going to go away.
Right.
Like he's not going to go away quietly and say, "Okay," it's just not going to happen.
Right.
But if it did, then I probably wouldn't want him to be president anyways.
Right.
Then if I was a Trump supporter and he went away quietly, then he's a fraud.
Right.
So then you've seen the fraud then.
Right.
Because there's no way, if this is the same guy who won the first time, he believes he is the best person for the thing, and there's no one usually.
Right.
You saw what he did to the other ones. I don't know. I think it's funny when governors get all this praise.
Yeah.
Because their states are so much different than I don't know. I don't understand it. I mean, I guess this one is the one I just will never if people that 74 million, I don't know how many people voted for Trump last time. It was a good amount, huge amount.
Huge, yeah.
70 some million, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see it. I can't see them just switching to someone else. I just don't see it. I mean, they could talk all they want on TV, and you can hear whatever you want out of a senator. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know about I don't think the people would. Just go drive around. We're in New York, for God's sakes, and you see the flags and things still up from 2016.
Right.
They haven't left, and they've been actually probably renewed.
Right.
So I just don't see it. They got a big problem on their hands because someone in there is going to become unelectable that they might have wanted to elect.
Right.
That's all I think. Someone like the governor of Florida could end up looking unelectable if things go wrong. Think about him if he tries to attack former president. How does he do it? He can't.
Right.
Because we remember the commercials where he was teaching his kids how to build a wall with Legos and all that stuff. So how would he? He just can't.
Right.
You can't. That's why this whole thing would be a joke. The primary would have to be, it should be former president against those that don't want him anymore. And then that would be a Pence type or whomever, or Nikki Haley, whatever they might be.
Right.
And but otherwise, I think they got a problem.
I think,
and I think they'll lose. I think if that turns into a big fight, they lose.
I do too.
Because they will turn off people. Here's the problem. That's 75 million or whatever it was that voted for him, even this last time. I'm not even talking about in 2016. There's people in there that do not care about Republican parties or Democrat parties.
Right.
They just don't care. They may have saw something in him that made them like him. And if look out, they just won't show up. Or if they don't, you know what I'm saying? It's not like they're going to go vote Democrat. They just won't vote.
Right.
Which I understand.
Yeah.
Or you vote for something else. You write your own name and you go and cast the ballot. But
yeah,
I think the Republican side is really teetering on an issue.
I think so too. So, I think they're setting up for a really bad problem in their primaries if they run Ron DeSantis against former President Trump. I really do.
Yeah, I don't know if they can stop it.
No, I don't. No.
But I just don't know. Now we heard in 2026 he can no longer be governor of Florida, which then would set up good for his run in 2028. You would think, because you start look at what we're in the end of 2022 when we're starting.
Right.
And the thing is, until you know what I mean, it's 18 months.
Right.
It isn't like it used to be where it'd be like 3 or 6 months.
Right.
It's 18 months worth of this stuff. So it seems to me like I don't know why that would, but I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know why they would want to try to poke at the former president, because I do not think there's any loyalty to Republicans at all.
Yeah.
Not one bit.
Yeah, I don't either. And I mean, I think that it's a very small percentage of people who voted for former President Trump who would just jump to the Republican nominee automatically, or to the Republican to DeSantis
no.
automatically.
I don't think so. Because you're going to have people that just don't care. They're not in this. They don't care about that stuff.
Right.
It doesn't matter what the primary says. You know what I mean? It's just because you found somebody in the former president who appealed to people that voted for President Obama. So think about that.
Right.
So you've got something happening there that is a whole lot different than, party stuff.
Right.
And if they play around with this the wrong way, he will, I believe, do what he does.
Yeah.
And he will destroy them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that'll be funny.
Oh, I'll laugh hysterically because they would deserve it.
Yes, they would deserve it. Absolutely. The problem is then the result is we reelect Biden.
Oh, well, that's what happens.
Yeah.
What do you want from me? Or maybe not, or maybe there's someone else. I don't even know if he's going to run again. But I'm just saying, like, that's not my concern. I could care less in this, because if you have this guy who says, if you say, let me this way, I liked what he did 4 years ago because of the way everything was going in the country,
right,
with everything, your price of gas, everything that was going on. Why in the hell would you then, when he comes back, say no? It don't make sense.
Right.
Where would all 76 million people go? I'm going to tell you right now, they're not going to go where you want them to go if you play games here, in my mind.
Right.
Burdett is out here.
And
I want to read what Burdett says.
Yeah.
Burdett says, it's a very good comment. We don't need Trump's mouth anymore, his cockiness. But if he's the nominee, then I will vote for him. I'm sorry, my eyes are just going crazy. We need Trump's policies and a steadfast leader without the trash talking. Just action we need now. Kim says, I will vote for Trump again. I see. Well,
and Burdett, I mean,
yeah,
would just out of curiosity, would you vote for a Ron DeSantis? Is that what you're looking for? Or, because I mean, he's pretty solid in Trump's policies, but is he
really though? How do we know what he's going to do?
Well,
with
that's
China or with North Korea?
That's true.
And Burdett says, yes, I would. How do we know any of that? We don't know what he would do.
Yeah.
We have no clue what happens when he gets in the White House and you have the Senate and you have the House and you have this and you have that and you have all the stuff that's a hell of a lot different than Florida.
Right. See, and that's why, and the trash talking and the cockiness that comes with Trump, I think, is also what garners him respect from certain other, the cockiness, the things that people call arrogance.
But I think here's the thing with him. This is my impression. There is a media version of him, and then there's a real version. I don't think he's walking around doing that in North Korea.
No.
I don't think he's going to Moscow talking to Putin like this. My point is, what you're seeing, he's been in the media forever, right? He knows how to do this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing what you need to see for certain people to really get behind him, okay? But in my mind. But behind the scenes, I just don't see it that way, because there would be no respect. The leaders wouldn't respect that. Or, why would they? They wouldn't.
An accomplished businessman who has
and I don't even give a damn about that. I know. You know what I think about business? I could care less about that whole thing. We need a businessman bullshit. No, you don't. No, you don't. You need someone who don't care.
I think it does. And that's another thing with him is
you don't care because you're going to do what you got to do.
Right.
I mean, when you're going to continue to give $37 billion to Ukraine, I mean, it's got to stop, right? Let's see, what's he say here? I watched a rally the other week, and I hate to say it, but I had to turn it off. He said "I" and "me" so many times in a 5-minute period. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
was literally turn off. Yeah, well, that does happen. I agree. But I don't. I guess then, if people are going to go in another direction, you're not going to get what you got with him 4 years ago. Don't expect it. It's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have someone different who is not him, who is, comes from the state of Florida. and I don't think governing Florida is like governing here, but the whole country, or governing. I don't even know what the hell he really did. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know what his. You don't know. I don't really know what he thinks, because if in Florida, it's like New York State. In New York State, there are certain things that are just going to happen. So
Right.
as governor, what are you going to do? Like, it's going to be a pro-choice state.
Right.
It's going to be what it is. In Florida, it's going to be what it is. You get into the other place, I mean, you got to be, it's not, you know what I mean? It's everyone and
Right.
it's everything. So I don't know. I don't know. I personally, like I said, I find it funny
Yeah.
to watch them fight amongst themselves.
Yeah.
I do like watching both parties eat each other alive.
Oh,
I
and
think
that's
it's,
definitely
to me,
what's
it's
happening.
hysterical.
Yeah.
I love, because I hate the parties. Kim, Trump did so much for our country. That's what we need as president. What he said he was going to do, he did. I and I also thought that COVID was a very interesting thing to have happen. That then it was obviously, well, it killed more people than 9/11. We know that.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and it was a big moment, right? And when that happens, we went from like 3%, 2%, or 3% unemployment to half the country being unemployed. I mean, out of
Right.
control.
Yeah.
So everything kind of just fit in perfectly to put an end to everything. Um,
Almost like it was designed that way.
yeah, I don't, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just, it's bizarre. I mean, I just don't know how, like, you're gonna vote for Mike Pence? Not me or you. I'm talking about the
Yeah.
Republicans. I don't vote in those primaries, so
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
I'm not voting in that primary. I'm not a Republican.
Yeah.
I will not vote in that primary. I will not vote in the other. I don't care what they do. If it was up to me, I'm blowing them up. But it's not, so they can do what they want.
Right.
And I will vote.
Oh yeah, I'll vote in the general.
Yeah. If I don't like who it is, I'll vote for someone.
Yeah.
I'll vote for myself. I don't care. I'll
Right.
vote for you. I'll vote for whoever. But I'm not. I don't. I don't. That was one of my biggest. That's one of my biggest problems with the parties. How can you sit? I just, they don't really. If you look at all of it, you know, big money controls it. Obviously, huge money, enormous money,
Right.
and I don't see how. I don't see how you could have faith in it.
Right.
This guy came along who told Republicans on to their face that what needed to be, probably needed to be said, that couldn't be said by a Democrat.
Right.
And if you wipe him out, I think you're just going back to, you're going back to George Bush.
Yes.
Or you're going back to those guys. I mean,
Yes.
that's what I see, because I think the old guard of that will just love to have a governor or
Right.
love to have a senator, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But it'll be a hell of a fight. It'll be a lot of fun to watch in that primary.
Oh yeah.
Sure. I don't know if the Democrats are going to have a primary. They could. There's a good chance there could be. Who knows?
Yeah, Biden just turned 80.
I mean, he's not necessarily going to run.
Sounds like he's going to though.
Yeah, but there might be someone who runs against him. He'd be vulnerable.
Oh,
I'm sure.
without a doubt.
I mean, although the Democrats being just as bad as Republicans, as long as they see as a letter, there they go.
Right.
There's no thought other than when I get out of my primary, that's it.
Yeah.
So it's bad.
Well, yeah, if you ask Democrats right now how many of them were unhappy with the country, probably most of them would be, but they'll all go and vote Joe Biden in the next general election. And likewise, it would be the same with Republicans.
Because it's so bad. And might have been Burdett who said it. Everyone is so far apart and so ridiculously on the wrong ends.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, that you on the different end, that it's just not.
Yeah, there's not there's
and I don't
Grand
know
Canyon in the middle.
And they have proven to me through the years that neither one of them can do it.
No.
Neither one of the parties can do it.
No. And neither of them stand for what they say they stand for, because the second that it can be negotiated for something else, it is.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. No, there's no doubt money talks, and the whole thing is just another everything else is just lip service to people,
Yeah.
I think. And then you get what you get. I mean, I don't know. I will be surprised though if that party decides that they would reject the 4 years from 2000, but
Right.
would it surprise me? No, because they want to take it back.
Right.
And that was the whole thing. That was the Lincoln Project. That was everything. For Christ's sakes, our VP called our president a racist and he picked her. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Yeah, no doubt. It's outrageous. He called Biden himself. What she said, by you look at his YouTube videos, she was probably right by some of the words that come out of his mouth.
Yeah.
What he says in 2018 or 2008 or whatever the hell it was, 2005, about Obama, or 2007 about then President Obama when Obama was running.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the stuff he said was outrageous. I mean, some of it was crazy.
Yeah.
But all of it's crazy. But you're right, Burdett. Look at that. They don't care. No one cares.
No.
Why don't we take a break? Because we got to do some commercials. Our guy Burdett, we want to show. He's such a good sponsor for us. Thank you, Burdett,
Burdett's
for
the
always
best.
being
Thank
with
you,
us.
Burdett.
And you tell me whatever you want, whatever you need to be put out here. We'll gladly do it for you. All right, why don't we take a commercial break? We'll be back with more stuff that Robin has. And yeah, we'll be back.
Digits 988 can save a life. If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides connection to free confidential support. There is hope. The Lifeline works. For 24/7 confidential support, just call, text, or chat 988.
All right, welcome back to Robin Live, and I'm not Robin, I'm John. Robin's over there. If you're new to this show, that's how it works. Robin's not ready to be on it. You got a little anxiety over it. That's fine.
Robin likes to sit on the couch.
Yeah, but you could have a camera over there if you were.
Oh yeah.
You could easily pop one up over there. Easily. But it doesn't matter. It's fine. Oh, by the way, if you didn't see Citizens United last night, check it out. There was her name is Gianna Cedeno. And wow, she's only 18 years old and she's a survivor. And the way she spoke, I thought,
yeah,
you would have thought she was like 30-year-old or something. Check her out. She was incredible.
got a great website.
Yeah, IamNotABody.org.
Right.
And trying to start a foundation to help survivors of sexual assault and rape. And she's from Jacksonville, Florida. She's got a GoFundMe to help her start the thing.
Mm-hmm.
She is 18 years old. She lives by herself. You just watch, and after you watch and listen to her, and you can read her story and see how well she writes and talks, you can see what this is.
Right.
Incredible.
And she's looking to do a lot of the same things that we are, getting in to talk to kids and
impressive.
Yeah, I mean, really impressive things that could make a difference, and it's nice to see it happening everywhere.
Yeah, and such someone that young.
Yeah,
was very impressed. I'm glad we found her.
That's the only hope we have to change this, is for the next generation to find sexual assault and rape to be a big deal, because our generation doesn't. We just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, we don't care. You're right. We don't
go around raping everybody.
People. I'm saying the general population just don't care.
Right.
It's obvious when it just keeps going. And
hopefully, young people will get sick of it, and
hopefully,
and people like Gianna will speak up, and that'll be what changes.
Yeah, she was very impressive. So if you didn't see it, check it out. Check out her website and her GoFundMe. Like I said all the time with GoFundMe's, if you can't do anything, even just share it. That always helps. Robin, news story now that has come out is about the Hunter Biden laptop stuff, and some news sources have admitted to that it's real?
Yeah, CBS News confirmed that there was no evidence of tampering or fabrication on Hunter Biden's laptop. They also confirmed that there was nothing added after the date it was dropped off at the repair shop. So basically, they're confirming that everything on there belonged to him.
Yeah, whatever is on.
Right.
Okay. And we don't.
And this.
We don't really. How would we ever really? I guess there's been photos leaked and stuff.
Yeah, and I was going crazy searching because I found a bunch of stuff on his business dealings and emails that they found, and we can talk more about that stuff. Things that they found that connected him with dealings in Ukraine and in China.
Yeah.
The thing that I have been searching everywhere for, and maybe somebody out there can tell me, but I thought there was illegal, like I know there's videos of him smoking crack.
I don't think we don't know if there's child pornography on there.
Right.
I don't know, because that where are we getting that information?
That's what I mean.
I don't know. I mean, that's my point. Like that, I don't know. I mean, I would assume. How am I supposed to know anything when everything is a big diversion at all times, and even the FBI is involved in it? So I mean, the FBI was a part of it, to cover it all up, and that's why I never want to hear from the FBI. When you say I want the FBI to come, no, you don't.
Right. The FBI was afraid that Biden was going to win the election in 2020, and that was when, during the lead up to the 2020 election, was when the New York Post came out with the story about Hunter Biden's laptop. And the FBI was behind them deciding to label it as nothing more than Russian disinformation. And if anybody saw it, Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he admitted that they pressured Facebook to censor it.
Well, his dealings in Ukraine, and now his $37 billion gets sent to Ukraine, is a big. I mean, it should be. I mean, but who investigates this? No one.
Right.
I mean, the FBI. I mean,
I know. It's funny because it's actually going to be up to a U.S. attorney in Delaware, who was appointed by Trump. Funny enough, if Hunter Biden is going to face charges or not. I guess with
charges of what?
Because within the investigation, they did a broader investigation into his business practices.
Right.
And the federal agents are looking into improperly reported income from his business dealings. And also,
Yeah.
he allegedly falsely answered a question on a federal form when he purchased a handgun, asking whether he did drugs or was a drug addict, and he said no.
Right.
So I guess both of them can be charged if this U.S. attorney decides that.
Okay, and that's fine, but what does it? It does nothing for the real issue.
No.
Which was the fact that it was hidden. Just like, well, similarly, what went on with Hillary Clinton stuff.
Right.
And how that was a big circus, and it went from, you remember what they did, how the FBI handled that.
Yes.
I mean, great. I mean, I guess that's how I feel about this. Like, okay, I'm glad you're all. I mean, what does that mean? What's that mean for all of us? For what? I don't know if it would have. I don't think it would have even shaped the. It would have even. I don't think it would have mattered.
Right.
Because they were going to do what they were going to do.
Right. The biggest thing.
He wasn't going to stop it.
Is now that the Republicans have the majority in the House come January, they've promised to focus their investigatory powers on Hunter Biden's business deals. So again, we're going to spend a bunch of taxpayer money and
what we already know,
and find out what we already know and do nothing about it.
There's a lot of people over there that sit on those boards,
mm-hmm.
and and it's wrong. It's all wrong, but it's what you get when you support these parties. It's what you get.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. The whole thing was.
So keep supporting. That's what you get.
Right. The whole thing was that Hunter Biden, basically, in a nutshell, Hunter Biden was selling influence with his father, who at the time was the vice president,
right,
to other countries.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. But look at the people that have been put on types of boards like this, right? I mean, Democrat and Republican alike. I mean, I remember Mitt Romney's kid, and there's a bunch of others.
Yeah.
I mean, so when this is the perks of the game,
right,
and that's a problem.
Yep.
And people continue to be okay with it.
Yep.
They're only not okay with it when it affects them and it's the other side. You need to be not okay with it at all times.
Right. That's what would break up the parties and would change the country.
I mean, it's like locally. There are certain things that, it was like the OTB story. Those people were on that board.
Right.
And you've heard what they were doing. They're going to Bills games, Sabres games. They're spending thousands and thousands of taxpayer money on parties and drinks and chicken wings and shit and stuff and tickets.
Right.
And it went on and on and on and on and on. And there's people that knew it. And no one cared.
No.
Because they feel like, well, that's what you get when you win an election.
Right.
And that's only
because the parties. Because if it was individuals, no individual would have that much power.
No individual would have that much guts.
Yeah.
Because it would be easier to just prosecute an individual.
Right.
Than to try to take the whole thing. And then, of course, think about the mess. You look at judges, for example, and district attorneys and the whole damn thing. It's all voted on, and they all supposedly, we're not political. Okay, so you could be on every line, but you will gladly go and say you're a Republican. It's so ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so while that's going on, how do you expect some district attorney somewhere to even consider? If they had some balls and some guts, they would. But majority of people don't, and they're not going to do anything.
Right.
And they will just look the other way.
Yep.
90% are crooked when they go in, and 100% are when they get out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say this: I think, as far as voters of these parties, it actually hurts my head and partial of my stomach when I listen to people say things like they're only going to vote one way or they would only vote the blue or red. That is such a then you are exactly what, and it's hard because it's been going on for what, 100 years? I don't know how many years.
Right.
But like, there are people that's all they do. and they're part of the problem
Right.
because they are the group that just continues to allow
Mm-hmm.
OTB to happen
Right.
or whatever type of thing. How can you become a multimillionaire in a few years on a public service salary? True.
Yeah.
That is a problem. That is, it is a huge problem. Right. How you shouldn't.
Yeah.
And it's a mess. There's too much obviously money in elections and all that. Look at our own local election here and just in the city of Niagara Falls. Why does the mayor have $170,000 in his thing?
Right.
Why? Because look who gives it to him. It buys the influence because they know that he can use that money for a lot of things.
Right.
And it's disgusting. And I don't know why there are people that know this and then will repeatedly just go right down the line of Democrat or Republican.
Right.
And well, watch it here. Watch this presidential election that's coming up. It's going to be a joke.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Everyone, it might as well be it might as well be a soccer game in Europe.
Right.
I mean, it might as well just be that.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well get a stadium filled and put red and blue on each side, and like that's all it is.
Yeah, and you can all stampede each other at the gate.
Right. The investment in the stock market, they make the laws and benefit. Yeah, they do. And there's insider trading. They get busted every once in a while. Someone gets clipped up for that.
Right.
Every once in a while, there's some poor fool that gets in trouble for it.
Right.
Some unknown, I don't know who, House of Representative person.
Yeah.
Like when they got the guy here, what was his name? Chris Collins.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna grab this guy, some guy from Buffalo.
Right.
Oh, okay. You're gonna tell me he's the only one?
Yeah. Well,
but then it makes an appearance of doing something.
Right.
I don't know. It seems like the game is pretty obvious. They don't hide it well.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Hunter Biden, I mean, even if there's child pornography on there, like I don't know if that's true or not.
Right, I don't know either, and I looked and couldn't
because I don't know who's going to say there is.
Right,
like that's my point. Like who would say that? If the FBI, who can believe them? But
right, they knew, what I mean.
Who would care? I mean,
and they're not the thing that
they know a lot of things.
They've known this for almost 3 years. They've had this laptop,
right?
So why isn't there any answers as far as that goes? Like, are we just supposed to forget that was ever alleged?
Right. No, I know, but I don't even know who's alleging it.
Right.
Like that's the problem. Is it even a credible allegation? Is this just online? Right, is it just people saying stuff?
But then it makes you wonder because there's just people saying stuff, and then major, the mainstream media, CBS News, comes out and says, "Oh, that's Russian disinformation." So you forget about it, and then 3 years later, after the election, you find out, oh, actually that was true, but the FBI hid it.
We would have to be foolish, and we're not. All of us out here are not. I just don't understand. Like, I guess what I'm saying, like, I don't understand how we knew about it was right there about Burisma and all that stuff about Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't even think I needed the FBI to tell me that it was obvious. The guy's on the board.
Right.
The thing. I mean, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't even think I think anyone with half a brain that wants to pay attention would know.
Right.
As far as other stuff, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. I just don't know, and I don't even know if he's obviously a drug addict.
Right.
We know that.
Yeah.
We know he has a drug issue. We know that. Do we know if he's into being a pedophile or human trafficking? I don't know.
Right.
I would hope that if someone knows, they would tell us of authority. That gets the.
I don't feel like they would. I feel like it's like D'Angelo, like the D'Angelo case around here. So many people know so much, and they just shut up.
But
and
there's
it's because they think.
But what I'm saying is there are, if it's the FBI, I'm not talking about private people. I'm talking about because they can't. But if the FBI we'll never know. If the FBI knows and they choose not to do anything about it,
Right. Yeah.
then I don't know what to say. We will never know.
Right.
A public person can't do that because if they did, they'd get sued. If you come out and try to do that and say that he's a pedophile,
Right.
you're going if you're important enough, you're going to get it.
Yeah.
Okay, because we know that. Just a nonsense that we deal with.
Right.
But so I don't know how you deal with that stuff at all. But my concern is that the FBI just doesn't care about that. That was my concern with D'Angelo and why I don't want them coming here.
Right.
Because I don't know if they're concerned about sex trafficking and things of that nature. They're more worried about other stuff.
Yes, I feel like they gladly plead that stuff out or trade it off, or
right, for some kind of stupid political type crime or some white this or that, and you get my point. That's why I don't like them being around here.
Yes,
there's no need for them. They can't do anything but cause chaos and cause trouble. They've yet to do anything that has proved to me they can't. They have.
Right.
Through the years, I haven't seen anything done that has been done in a way that look it. If they know, they would know right now. They've seen what's on that laptop.
Right.
So there you go.
Right.
So I don't know what to say. I mean, we do know though that he's definitely got a drug addiction. He's addicted to crack, cocaine, whatever the hell it is.
Right. And
but that's proven.
CBS confirmed that the laptop had tons of material about Hunter Biden's personal struggles, his foreign business ventures in Ukraine and with China.
Yeah.
But that's
we knew that.
Yeah.
You knew that sitting here. We all knew that are watching.
Right.
We knew he was on a board with Burisma thing. That wasn't made up.
Right.
In the Ukraine. We knew about China, but these are things that you can that were verifiable.
Right. They verified that email that to the head of Burisma from Hunter Biden offering to set up a meeting with his father. They confirmed that email was legitimate.
All that stuff is
that. But they deny that the meeting never happened.
Sure. This is why. Please don't want the FBI to come around you, or if you think they're going to come and do the right thing.
Yeah.
They are the least of the right thing.
Right.
They are going to. I don't know what the hell they're going to do. I don't have much faith in that group. So yeah, I mean the Hunter Biden thing, I assume will not make much more news after that.
No,
because I don't even know. I mean, I personally don't even know like what would even matter. What I'm saying is like when it comes election wise.
Yeah,
I don't even.
I don't think election wise it makes a difference anymore.
No, I mean I don't know what it makes a difference. What they keep on giving money. Look, they keep on giving the Ukraine billions and billions and billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Like no one's really been concerned, about all that.
No.
So, I mean, Russia did what it did, and that's it. We just poured money in.
Yep.
So okay, it's here's the thing that I liked about former President Trump was his willingness to try to, even though his demeanor and his approach might not be as great as it should be, to reveal some of the corruptions that have happened.
Yes.
That is my only reason that I like him.
Right.
I liked what he did with healthcare too. I will give him that.
Yeah.
I will say that the pharmaceutical stuff was better than anything I've seen.
Yeah.
Because it helped everyone across the board. Where Obamacare, if you're in New York State, Obamacare worked for you, but if you were in Kentucky or Tennessee, it's not going to.
Right.
Because there's no real Medicaid down there, so you're just kind of shot.
Right.
It really was nothing but a hurt because it forced you to get insurance by the mandate. Remember?
Right. Yeah.
So those people, you're in New York State, you're fine. That's what I didn't like. What Trump does, former President Trump does, is pretty good. It was across the board, just making things lower priced. Okay, you can't beat that. And believe me, it's a low bar, right? I mean, these are low bar stuff. I'm not but it was as good as I've seen.
Yeah. Lower
I
gas
also
prices.
that's the other thing I'm going to say. As a person who hates parties and I don't make any, and obviously, that's where I'm starting. I mean, if you're going to lower my gas prices, I got to say yes. If my eggs aren't going to be $8.49 for 24 of them,
I know.
or $3.59 for a dozen, yeah, I want that.
Right.
And I don't know how everybody doesn't want that.
Right.
It's bizarre to me that they wouldn't. There's a whole bunch of things that you want to know what else I liked about Trump? What he did was he did some things on human trafficking that no one else has done.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Great. I think he could do more, but he didn't go another thing. This election, though, I will say this. I know we got to wrap it up too, but this election coming up is going to be incredibly entertaining.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
That Republican primary is going to be very entertaining.
Yeah.
It'll be must-see TV.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. And then you will watch, depending on what they do, that party implode.
Yes.
Right before your eyes on TV. And they'll get beat worse than they got beat before if they attempt to muddy former president up.
Yep.
If they do that, they will lose.
Yep.
And I don't care who runs on the other side. It won't even matter.
No, I don't think it does matter.
Because the people, so many Democrat voters that voted for Obama's way and all that switched to him, they may sit out, they may do, who knows what they do.
Right.
And that's something I don't think they want to lose. And you lose that with them.
Absolutely.
So, Robin, it's time to wrap it up. Great show. Good topics.
Thank you.
What do we got coming up? We've got Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving,
Have a good
everyone.
time on Thursday. Friday of the
If you
sports
have
show.
extra pumpkin pie, I can give you my address.
Yeah. Sports show on Friday. We'll be back.
Yes.
We'll be there Friday. Saturday we will have Balls Count Anywhere, and back with Citizens United on Monday. And yeah, it's going to be already December before we know it.
I know. My God.
Yeah, time has flown. Yes, Burdette, have a good one. All of you out there, have a great Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's a pretty cool, nice, usually calm.
I love it. It's all about eating.
Yeah, football, eating, things. Usually calm.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas gets a little wild. I love Christmas too, though. Don't get me wrong.
I do too.
I really do. Robin, we should probably go.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll see you next time.